Hey everybody, it's Tuesday night. Welcome to the Grumpy Acres Homestead. It's time for another update in live chat. Here with the lovely Yoda. Say hello to Yoda.
Hello to Yoda.
Hello to everybody in chat. Glad you could make it. Let's see who's here. HG was here first. Then Rose says boo. And then my man, Utah Mike, Jane. Glad everybody could make it. Remember, get into the live chat. Get out of the top chat. Get in the live chat because that's where all the action happens. Well, I hope everybody had a good week. Oh, Skanes just showed up.
Hey, Skanes.
What do you got to tell her?
I don't know.
About the phone call?
Oh, she knows. Well, I don't know if she knows. I didn't answer the phone when you called.
And what would you say you were going to do?
I'll call you back.
Okay. That's what
I was at work. I can't answer my phone at work.
Can Squatch is here. Like I said, I hope everybody had a great week. It was a good week here. It doesn't feel like we got a lot done, but there was a lot done. Does that make any sense? The big story around here this week was it was hot. It was real hot. It was like beat you down hot.
See, I don't think so. There was a couple days last week, but I don't know about beat you down hot.
Yeah, Friday was beat you down hot. I was out there working in it. I can tell you for a fact. We did get some rain though, which was good. It keeps filling my water barrels up after I try to empty them. Yep.
Best name on the internet.
But so what happened? What'd you do this week? What happened that was interesting around the homestead for you? It was so interesting and so much happened. She doesn't know where to start, folks.
Well, with all of the rain, everything's growing really, really well.
Yes,
and I've been debating on like when to pick squash, when to start doing everything. He got one. This was like the smallest one that was out there. So I'm not surprised why he didn't pick his sister that was laying right next to it, kind of across from it.
Where I got this from?
Yeah, you got it.
This was the largest one. This was the largest one on the plant.
It's not, unless somebody stole it. So
there's multiple plants out there.
Yeah, but that was on the same plant as the other one. I remember the brownness on it.
Okay, but there you go. First zucchini.
It has the same markings as the other one.
She's good. She's really good at doing zucchinis and sheep.
DNA's all about the DNA.
But I was gonna make pan fried zucchini for dinner, but then I remembered that there was stuff for chicken wraps.
You were gonna eat like the only one that you picked. You were gonna eat it
because the other ones are still on the plant being taken care of. I don't want them to start going bad. They're out there doing it.
I don't want them to get too big because I don't want them all seedy and airy. He's like, you can't pick them yet because you knock on them. They're supposed to be hollow. If they're hollow, there's too many seeds and area.
Yet, how many have you gone out there and picked since we had that conversation 2 days ago?
Because you want them to wait a couple days. So I was actually telling myself in the elevator I needed to make time to get out there tonight to get them.
Too many at once is an issue.
No, it's not. Can it?
Causes tummy problems. Apparently.
Well.
Oh yeah, there's so many different ways you can do zucchini.
Zucchini bread, fried zucchinis. There's zucchini
By the way,
flour.
The guys at work want some zucchini bread whenever you get a chance.
So I have to grow it and cook it for them.
Oh my god! What's one of the?
They need to understand I'm working now.
What's one of the pillars of permaculture?
Oh my god!
What is it? It's sharing your abundance.
It's spoiling Nick and Scott, apparently.
No, it's.
I'll gladly hand over the zucchini, and Scott and Nick can make their own.
Okay, that's fine with me. I don't care.
No, what they want is they want mine. So.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's growing. The berries are coming in. They're only 3 or 4 little. You know how you get the blackberries got the little individual balls on them, whatever you want to call them. They're like 3 or 4 big, but they're growing and they've got color on them. I managed to keep the goats out of them this year.
Did you see that Martha Washington's almost ready to pick? They're starting to turn red.
Yeah,
they'll be ready when I told you they'd be
okay.
ready.
So the Martha Washington, that's the one apple tree, and what are the other 2?
One is a Granny Smith and one is a delicious red.
It's just kind of hybrided because it's kind of a cross between a Granny Smith and a delicious red. Anyway,
which is probably why it's in the middle between the two.
Anyway, the apples this year are really small, but there are so many of them. We've got way more than we usually get.
Martha Washingtons aren't very big anyway.
Well, that one in the middle usually gets about baseball to softball size.
That is not a Martha Washington, and that won't be ready for another 2 months.
But
they're fall harvest.
I'm just happy they're doing well. And then the wild plums, the wild American plum trees out here have fruit on them. You know, we gotta.
Looks like we might have another 25 seeds coming in to get some more.
We gotta keep the possums and the critters out of them. But you know, they're doing well.
Think about it. We had 25 more. It's us against the world.
Yeah. And then the
strange thing to say about a fruit tree. But oh my god.
I mean, everything with the rain we've gotten, and it's kind of unusual getting as much rain as we have this late, and we're supposed to get some next week. They took the rain out. They took the rain out on Thursday night, Friday morning, and moved it to next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Okay. Before we go on,
are we being rated by comments? I had a freeze dryer issue.
What's
grilled cheese sticks freeze dried for the kids? Are you battering the cheese sticks? I mean, it might work, but I would use probably a cornstarch, not flour. And you have to be careful. Are you frying them or are you going to bake them? I wouldn't fry them. But you can definitely do freeze-dried cheese. Doesn't taste very good, but you can do it.
Lynn says the mulberries are big right now. We do not have any mulberry trees here that I found. Mm-hmm. I missed the one at the old property.
Did you see Farmer Matt, his picture of his wild cherry trees? Mm-hmm. In abundance.
But so that's the big issue. I went out this morning. I spent about an hour before I went to work out in the garden this morning. I weed eated that one garden, got it completely out. Oh. So I've got a garden that is ready for summer plantings. I think some brassicas and some leafy veggies.
Not brassicas, not right now. It's going to get too hot. They'll bolt.
I was looking them up. They said you could do carrots and radishes if you got them in the ground the first week of July.
You can try it and see what happens.
The big one though was the leafy veggies. So,
okay. I mean, try it and see what happens.
Ace gains or
all about
spags.
All about experimenting anyway.
Yep.
So, spags. Kielbasa melon. So spags, we had a seed trade a while back. There were some extra seeds. I put them away for future seed trades. I don't know what happened to these. Secretly, somehow I must have stashed them. I came across them because they were like literally in my personal stash. And so I'm like, I must have got greedy. And so I put kielbasa seeds down. Man, do I got some flowers coming off of those. Those are looking good. They're getting big. My
mashed potato squash.
My baked potato squash that I just planted. You need to get the cage off of that because those have got to spread their wings and make mommy plenty of baked potato squash.
Well, as soon as they're big enough, the chickens won't jump up there.
They're big enough.
Okay.
So, but anyway.
So Spags wants to know if you're going to do the seed exchange.
Are you asking me or telling me? Because every other time you've told me. I just got to have a date in order to make sure that I'm off work in time. I'll just take some PTO for it. So not a big
Friday. Deal. What is it? Friday the 20th.
Oh, you're speaking that day, right?
Yeah.
I'll probably just take it off. So just tell me and then I'll get it. When is it? September, October?
September. Last week in September. So September 26th is that Friday.
Okay. That's the week before SRF. So yeah, I need to save all my PTO time so I can take those 2 weeks off. They still just have to understand.
And then
luckily it's the end of the week, so it's usually no big deal. It's when I ask for Monday's off is the big deal.
Quilbe, how are you?
So
Starla's daughter.
Oh, you're trying to place it again.
Yeah. But Spags asked me to give a class. I did that cheese class, and so he would like me to speak for an hour on the milk processing and cheese stuff. So I'm working on the presentation for that, and I'm gonna have slides and everything. It's gonna be
fancy.
It's gonna be professional.
Wow.
And she's trying to talk me into making some cheese so that people can actually try.
I think so. Especially if you're going to do slides, then we should have samples and that kind of thing available.
We'll make it look like
I could put on my Vanna White outfit, walk around with the platter.
We can make it look like I know what I'm doing.
Sample. You do know what you're doing. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's very good. How he does so well, you think I know what I was doing.
How'd you turn that into you?
Because I help you.
Do you? Okay.
What do you mean I don't help you?
You help me eat them.
I help you destroy them too.
You help.
So I think you were doing a live. You were on some video or something. And he's like, here, stir this for me. Just use your hand. It'll be fine. And it was supposed to be feta or something like that. Maybe it was the premiere. And it came out more like feta. And he's like, oh, you stirred this too much. I'm like, I did what you told me to. All he had to do was holler and say, stop. And I would have stopped. But I don't know.
It's all good. It still tasted good, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. It was good.
So you guys can expect to see me there. I'm not quite sure what time. It's sometime Friday, but I'll be there all day long.
Yeah.
And probably come home in time to put the animals away.
Yeah.
And I'll probably leave you there for the seed exchange then, since it's so late.
Yeah.
But it'll be a good day.
I don't know that that's that late. That seed exchange is usually at 5-ish, I think. 5:30.
5:30? I don't know.
Somewhere there.
See, Scanes is thinking more of an Oktoberfest outfit.
Me to wear?
A German beer frau.
I do have a Scotch outfit.
Scotch Fest in October.
I could do a Scotch Fest in October. Garen's like, no.
And speaking,
because he knows.
Speaking of the cheese class, I talked to one of the ladies at church on Sunday, and I told them if they would pay for all the materials, that I would do a class for the ladies at church. So
they say
I made a flyer up. She's gonna look at it and pass it around and see if the ladies want to do that.
Look at you.
It'll be sometime in August.
Look at you.
Well, they've got a kitchen there, and we could do it there, or we could go someplace else. But so yeah, it's coming together. It's slowly coming together.
Nice. We found out we can get the bingo hall out at the reservation for $60 for the entire weekend. Commercial kitchen, bathrooms, and all. Yep. And so looking forward to that.
Here's something else that came about this weekend.
I was going to say something.
Go ahead.
I lost my train of thought. I got all excited about it. I forgot it because you kept going. That must not have been important because, gosh, man, it was so exciting.
So finally, for the first time in 3.5 years, we've got our flag back up.
In how many years?
Since we moved.
Was it up when we were in Pleasant Hill?
Yeah, I kept it up. Anyway.
Not like that.
No, we did not have flag. We did not have it.
That thing's been sitting in its box for years and years and years.
I poured a concrete pad this weekend and finally got the flag up. It's actually a pretty nice flagpole, but it's a 20-foot flag.
Hey, Zag.
Not too sure about the flag itself. It's not very.
It's what the pole came with. You're paying more for the pole than you were the flag. I think
it's not good. It's not good quality.
Yeah, as expensive as everything was, so you would think it would have been better quality.
I think in Kansas that the wind is going to tear that thing apart.
That's all right. We'll get a better flag.
Yeah.
Somebody's got a birthday coming up anyway. Who would that be?
I don't know. No idea. Scanes is bringing her flagpole. Bought a new flag a couple of years ago. We were talking last night. I've got a flag that flew on the USS Ranger
I wouldn't want to fly that.
on its last ride. Well, we can't because it needs to be cleaned and
we shouldn't because it belongs to the USS Ranger.
right. That, and we can't because it needs repair and it needs to be cleaned.
More than my point, we shouldn't.
Well, I'm just saying.
Because we're responsible people.
Whether we shouldn't or we should, it doesn't matter. We can't.
That thing needs to go in a shadow box is what it needs.
Yeah, it does.
What needs to happen.
Need to get it dry cleaned and put in a shadow box.
The last ride.
Yep. The very last cruise that the Ranger was on.
Do we even have a bell that could go in there?
No.
Are you sure about that?
No, we don't have a bell.
You sure about that?
Not from the Ranger.
That you remember?
No, there's no bell from the Ranger.
I put it away.
There's no bell for the Ranger.
Sure there is.
No.
Is there not supposed to be a bell from the Ranger?
No, I didn't steal a bell, so I don't know where you got a bell from.
I'm not sure that you're the one that took it.
Maybe your dad.
No, Dad didn't take it.
Yeah.
Dad wasn't on the last ride.
Well,
Dad was on.
We've
the
never
Ranger
had a
when
bell.
Him and Mom met.
We've never had a bell from the USS Ranger.
Yeah, so my mom and dad met when my dad was on the Ranger, and Garen and I met when he was on the Ranger. Gotta watch out for those men that were on the Ranger, man.
That's right. We were the baddest of the bad. They were terrified of us at North Island.
The Mardet.
We had a reputation. Yeah, the Mardet USS Ranger CV-61 had a slight reputation. Okay.
Lynn says anything you say can and will be used against you.
Let's see here. What's Bill got to say? Pop quiz for the masses. Baylor girl has been scratching for the past few days. Had a few fleas, but they are no longer on her that I see, but she is still scratching badly. Tips, advice, and clues.
Comfrey salve. Think you have some of that. Rode that Comfrey salve, and I need to same for Dolly. And I need to use it as well. That Comfrey salve works like a charm. And if she starts having like hair problems where you feel it's coarse, that kind of thing, it'll help with that too. So if you need some Zeg, holler, I'll send you some.
Well, and we were feeding the animals this morning, and she was standing there by the bag of diatomaceous earth, and I just
threw it on her.
I threw a bunch on her butt. She was walking around shaking, making a little cloud of dust.
Yeah, diatomaceous earth is really good too. So that helps. But you need to be careful. So yeah, the tomato juice and lemon juice work. That's more skunk smell anti, but with Zeg's dog, so Zeg's dog is just a little cutie, and we don't want her all messed up. And so
she got open sores. That'll be
yeah, and
painful.
Open sores would be terrible. And then I would consider her as fragile as Dolly and Freya.
Oh my God. Border collies. In case you did not know this, border collies
everybody knows this.
Are extremely fragile dogs. Apparently, I did not know this. You can't use a flea collar on them.
He comes home with a bunch of flea collars, and he's like, "We're gonna see if this works." And I went, "Stop!" Like slow motion was going on. I'm freaking out. I'm like, "Look on that box and see if there's any of the ivermectin in there." And he's like, "What? Why?" And I said, "Ivermectin will kill border collies." And I said, "I have to be very careful with if I buy them flea products, tick products, that kind of thing." And so Garen's like, "Oh, come on." And so he grabs a pair of glasses and he starts reading the box. And what did you find?
No ivermectin. I got online.
But what did it say?
I got online and I looked it up. I looked up border collies, what you could use on them. And they said that you want to stay away from commercial flea collars unless they're specially designed for border collies.
Right.
So apparently
the same with flea and tick medicine.
Apparently border collies genetically are very fragile animals and susceptible to all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Bill, DE is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
In fact, Dolly, when she got the dirt, got it thrown on her this morning, was sniffing the bag. She had her nose in the bag.
She's like, "Hey, that was pretty good." And diatomaceous earth you can pick up from Tractor Supply, pretty much any farm and home. You can pick it up. I think even the Garden Center sells it.
Skin says an oatmeal bath to soothe the bites. Fix your cocktail with some bonbons. It's,
Leave her alone, Skeins. That poor puppy.
olive oil, lemon juicy, and water. About ready for the WG boards.
Yeah.
Border collies are very good at many things, but they have to stay in their lane.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Speaking of staying in their
which
lane,
is a shame because they are like really good sport dogs.
Dolly today did a great job. She was on it.
Yep.
So she's got this thing. When it's time to send him in, if I say bring him home, she runs as fast as she can still. She ran all the way from the other side of the property and sat down by the fence, waiting for the animals to come in.
Because she's like, I'm right here. Follow me. Come on home.
And then she waits.
Come on.
She waits until Lola is in through the gate, and then she starts barking at Lola.
Right.
And Lola faces off against her.
Her and Lola have this thing.
This love-hate relationship.
Yeah. Who was that? What was that sheepdog? I can't remember that sheepdog's name from the cartoon from Bugs Bunny. Come on, I'm here. You should automatically listen to me. I'm in charge of you. I'm your guardian dog. You don't remember that?
No, I don't. So we had one of the kids over from the community on Friday, and we worked for 3.5 hours. I went ahead and paid him for 4 because he busted his butt, and it was hot.
Yeah.
And the thing that gets me whenever I do this, the extra set of hands, instead of doing twice as much stuff, you get 3 or 4 times as much stuff done. And every time you add somebody, it just compounds on it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why these work days, if you've got property, even if you're like in a suburban lot and you've got a community of people around you, have a work day. Get people over there and do what needs to be done. And it just makes things go so much quicker and so much easier. We got the 0 turn back too. Brought it home and got it off and started trying to mow, and the deck wouldn't lower. So I called Darren. He's like, "Oh, it was working." I was like, "Yeah, I remember seeing it on the video." He sent me a video of showing me that it worked. And so I had to go out the next morning, and the linkage had gotten stuck, just bouncing around, coming home. And so it started running, and then it ran out of gas after about an hour worth of mowing. So it sat till Sunday, waiting for me to get fuel for it.
I've never heard of that, the ginger ale bath. I'd be worried about the sugar in it.
Which one?
Anti asked about a warm bath with ginger ale bath. Maybe ginger. Put some ginger in there. Not sure about a ginger ale bath. Haven't heard that one.
I have to look it up.
I'll look at it, but yeah, I would be worried about the sugar because where Zeg is, he's in Tennessee. Well, and Anti's warm weather too, so I don't know. Interesting. I'm gonna look that one up. Anti.
Skin said I just had to treat mine with poison. Turns out the vet admitted they had taken
in a group of rescues who were covered in fleas.
Oh no.
Uh-huh.
Mine were not treated because we haven't had
problems since I got here.
Oh my goodness. Did the vet pay for it?
I think she said she's had a problem.
What else? The ice machine broke.
Ice machine is toast.
It died.
I did everything I could to revive it.
And we've got really hard water here. So that's another thing. If you're living out in the country, having a water softener makes a big difference. We had one at the old house, and I'm not going to lie, I kind of miss it.
Yeah. We need to get one back up here.
Yeah. Well, we need a lot of stuff.
We need a lot of help too. What we really need is mental help, so we can figure out why we did this in the first place.
Well, basically because I didn't want to die. I didn't want the government telling me I had to stick an experimental medical treatment in my body.
Now we just go by every other month and go, I just want to die.
Well, no, I got charged for 2 capsules while I was at it. Oh my goodness. Tell you what, people just don't take accountability anymore, do they?
No.
What else?
I had more. Oh. Carl and Jennifer have a bunch of holy basil for us over there. I gotta go get
transplants.
They're getting big too, so I need to get those. if they'll quit going on vacation and we both quit working too hard, then we can finally catch up and get them. Of course, they are on the way home.
Yeah,
but
drive right by their house.
We also work together. She could bring them to work. But so we got to figure that one out. And then we've got the 4th of July thing coming.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll do that. It turns out I'm gonna end up working the 5th of July. I have the 4th off. But they needed somebody. I had PTO. Kids aren't coming like they thought they would. So now here we are. I'm like, yeah, I'll just work instead of taking the time off. So I'm gonna work. I'll be done in plenty of time. I'll be out there Friday night. I'll be out after 5 o'clock. And then let's see what else. I know there was more. I don't know. Trying to keep up with things has been hard.
A lot of weed
so
eating.
Tired.
A lot of weed eating this week.
Because that was on you and Killian. I didn't.
Well, I've been trying to get up and do my garden 30 in the morning or late at night. Coming in. I think I was in at 10 o'clock last night, and the night before it was 9:30. It's just it's so much easier. We were talking about that. The heat as you get older starts affecting you more, and so it's easier just to go to bed early, get up, do it when it's nice and cool, go do your daily work, come home, relax until the weather breaks a little bit, and then go out and do it in the evening. It's just so much easier.
Yeah, I'm not sure. So the girl that comes over and cleans, she was gone. So it took 2 weeks before she can come over and clean. She must have just got so overwhelmed she walked away, which is sad. Like she didn't walk away for good. She worked 2 hours and then left. I really could have used her a lot more. So with my hours and the way things are going, sometimes I'm not walking through the store until almost 8 o'clock at night. And so keeping up with the dishes, next near impossible. Trying to get cooked. I get home. I'm trying to help him. If he hasn't made dog food, then I'm making dog food. We can't make it ahead of time because for some reason he says it's starting to go bad the next day. So, which is dog food. I'm not sure why that matters, but anyway. And so
when you make a week's worth of rice,
I don't make a week's worth.
You make 4 or 5 days worth of rice, and by the time you get to the 4th day, it's rancid.
That, and then which I didn't know rice even goes rancid.
Yeah,
put it in the refrigerator.
There's no room.
So we'll make room. And so anyway, so doing this every day and doing that and trying to keep up with dishes, I need to get on the same page with her and just tell her what I expect. And if she can do it, great. And if she can't, I'm going to have to hire somebody else, I think. But I think she can do it. I think she just doesn't know what I expect and what I need. And I'm really horrible about leaving notes because I'm usually trying to get everything done. And now I have because of when he leaves and then I leave, try to get the dogs out. And the idiots are like, but I don't want to go out and go potty. I just want to sit on the front porch. And I'm like, you can't sit on the front porch. You need to go potty. I'm going to be gone all day. Dad's going to be gone all day. Because, and I'm like, you got to go do this. Because I don't want to lock them up in the kennel all day. But I guess from now on, I'm going to just judge it and maybe teach their little butts and lock them in their kennels all day.
Yeah. Well, and the reason why I'm not coming home at lunch anymore is because baby boy is being weaned off his bottles. He's down to 2 a day instead of 3 a day. And he's out living with the herd full time. He still, whenever they go out and graze, he still follows me around. Mm-hmm. But he's getting better. He was playing with him yesterday.
Yeah. He's
playing with some of the younger sheep and goats.
He is so ready to be weaned. He just doesn't think he's ready to be weaned.
Yeah.
So we're dealing with all of that and then just trying to adjust to schedules and that kind of thing. That's hard, especially when you're homesteading and trying to do that.
Right.
I think it'll be easier. Let me knock on wood. I hope it's going to be easier in the wintertime when the days are shorter. But I'm afraid I'm going to be going into work when it's dark and coming home when it's dark. Pretty sure that's what I should expect.
Okay. Rose wants to know, is this considered redneck engineering if I take a broke strap down with and use it as a pull chain rope to pull out a rug that has been, no, that's not, well,
overgrown with grass around it.
I don't know. If you're a redneck, then any kind of engineering is a redneck engineering, right? just do it. I would do it that way if that's the best way to do it. If you don't want to grab a hold of it, which I wouldn't want to if it's been out in the grass, yeah, just wrap it in a chain and drag it out if you can.
Well, I would say freezing the rice is a good idea, and I could just package it and then pull it out. He could pull it out. One of us could pull it out in the morning, and he could feed it to him at night. That's a fantastic idea. I still have to be able to cook it and get it done, and then I got to find freezer space for it. And we have a cow coming in a few months.
Yeah.
So,
and we don't have as much freezer space as we had 6 months ago.
Right. So you're supposed to start pulling meat out. Did you pull meat out today?
No,
You didn't yesterday either. So
well, I just said I was going to start doing it last night. So
I heard it 2 days ago, but
life would cease to exist if it weren't for redneck engineering. Absolutely.
Right.
Oh.
That's how the Tesla was invented. Who said that?
Where? Who said that? Where?
I don't know. I heard it.
You said it.
Did I?
Yeah.
Prove it.
She's not taking her meds. She's hearing voices.
Oh, feeling squirrely. So yeah, so we got a lot going on. So we got this pie walk we got to do. Well, we don't got to do it. I don't have to participate, but I do need to send a pie. So you're going to take a pie with you, yeah?
If you make it or buy it, I don't care.
I'm not going to buy it. I'll make it. So I'll make them Friday. I'll just make Friday a cooking day. If he should be coming over to clean anyway, and I need to sit down with her and show her a few things, work with her a little bit. But so we got that. And then as far as our food for Saturday, I'm just going to make us some of the wraps and that kind of thing.
Fine.
And because it's healthier and we don't got to worry about it getting accidentally poisoned or anything like that. Well, I don't have to worry about accidentally getting poisoned. So there be that.
I don't know. Things are coming along. The property have been doing a lot of work outside, and it's looking better than it has. I need to start thinking about how I'm going to seed those fields out there next fall. It's time to start worrying about them and getting them completely rehabbed. Right now, there's a lot of, I'm not even quite sure what kind of grass it is, but it's clumpy and it doesn't do a lot of ground cover.
There should, which is weird because there should be some brome out there because they were paying it for years.
There's a little
and years
bit.
and years.
There's a little bit, but
that means the weeds are taking over.
No.
So we need to get brome back.
And I want to get a mix of clover and something else that they get.
Oh, we got enough clover out there.
We get clover we get clover in the spring, and then the hay comes up.
Clover sticks around all year long.
No.
So yeah.
Skane says she hooks a tarp to the lawnmower with the rope and hauls leaves and limbs, sometimes grandkids. Well, why don't you, if you want to go full redneck with that, get a
car hood
and do that. I'd kind of like to do a natural mix of grass if possible.
I'd like to see some barley out there. I would like to see some wheat out there. I would like to see some brome out there. Really something that'll come up at different times and let spread well.
Bill says that you, in order for it to be redneck engineering, apparently somebody has to get hurt or you have to break something.
This is true.
Yeah, right. There's two types of rye that they use out here.
Is good.
And one of them is genetically engineered and the other one isn't. And there's rye out there right now. There's more out there than there was before, but I like I said, I'd like to find I
have the seeds that were supposed to go in the paddock from last fall. And there's rye and barley and all of that mixed in there. And I also have a package of native Kansas grass that needs to go out. It's not a lot, but it's some. It's enough for that paddock.
That's right. We're going to start working on fences. I've been pricing out.
Yes, we have to get these butt heads into a different paddock in order to seed that paddock. And then we need a third paddock for relief on the second paddock so that they don't tear the second paddock up. Fun times. So.
Oh, goodness. Is that about it for updates?
Probably there's more, but I can't remember. I don't know. You already talked about my stupid car, right? I guess it's a smart car. It's smarter than I am. So you already talked about that.
I
And
didn't.
then
I didn't say anything about your car.
you haven't said anything about
I
that.
didn't say
Yeah,
anything
you
about-
did.
You were sitting right here. I didn't say anything about your car.
No, not today.
Oh.
But like in the last couple of weeks. So that's done. And then yeah, so I don't know.
Listen, we've been at this for
Said
about
it.
35 minutes.
Oh my God, it's
So-
time to get to politics.
No, it's time to pay some bills. And I got something to show you too. Guys,
Mississippi Homestead Journey. It's good seeing you. At least I'll say hello.
she has not seen this, so she's gonna see this at the same time that you guys see
What
this.
is it?
So
Who it be?
it's the new Grumpy Acres General Store on Amazon. So if you guys don't know what this is, Amazon has affiliates, which we are one, that you can set up a store to show recommendations of your what you purchase and what you use.
Did you finally get that set up?
Yes, I finally figured it out. Here, let me make this full screen.
Yay, now you guys can get to see all the crap I fill my kitchen with. Everybody comes in and they're like, "Oh my gosh, where did you get that? Where did you find that?" And I'm like,
So
affiliate links got to be somewhere.
So the way it works is you create these idea lists off of what you've purchased and or what you wish you had purchased. So like this one here, this is the cheese one. So these are stuff for cheese making, the essentials. And as you can see, there's the double boiler for the wax. There's the racks. There's rennet, calcium chloride. This is the press, one of the presses we use.
That's
There's
the
the
first
Dutch
one we
press.
bought.
So all this stuff there that's in that list,
How come you didn't get that weight with the cheese press, with the Dutch one?
because it doesn't come with it.
Well, why is it shown in the picture?
I don't know.
I would argue that.
I don't know. Oh, hang on. There we go. So if you want to help the channel, if you want to help the channel, you guys, and help yourselves in the process. And these are all,
you guys, that cheesecloth is amazing.
well, that's just regular cheesecloth.
No, where's the one that came with the one press?
The butter muslin. I need to get the butter muslin in there because the butter muslin is
good.
A very fine, thick cheesecloth.
Cloth though.
Yeah, it's real cloth, and it does a really, really good job.
I was able to throw it in the washing machine. It did fine.
Right. So there's the link. You guys can go check that out, and you can see what we what we use around here. Most of that stuff, we either have used it or I've seen somebody else using it, and I've got it on there because I know it's a good product. We try to buy locally as much as possible, but one of the problems with living out here is there's no stores close by, and the only place to get a lot of general stuff is Walmart. And quite frankly, I don't like shopping there. I don't like going there.
Yeah, Anti was saying it sounds like very large paddocks, and yes, Anti they are with the amount of animals that we have on any given basis, for milking and that kind of thing. Each paddock needs to be about
2 acres.
About 2 acres each. Is how we've got it fenced off. So yeah. Yep. Keep the grass alive. Staying alive. Staying alive. Staying alive.
As I was saying before, she got off onto a little musical tangent. And we try not to buy Chinese stuff. Again, in today's America, it's next to impossible, especially when you're doing a lot of specialized stuff. They just don't. A lot of people don't make stuff anymore.
And we are making an exception for the Ukraine, and have been for the last 3 years.
Well, I don't mind buying stuff from countries that I don't like buying stuff from China.
I know I would be very careful how you was getting ready to word that, but
yeah, when they're when you live in the middle of nowhere, there is no local. Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. So go give it a try. Let's see. Unsearchable on Amazon under Grumpy Acres Farm. They'll need to use the direct link. Okay, yeah. So it's in the chat. It's also in the description down below. If you want to go check it out, you can click on it and go see, get a little glimpse into our live if you want to look at it that way. But this is all stuff that we use.
This is what they use. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's
And there's more.
what Yoda was talking about when she was saying she was using the greatest tool ever.
And there's more idea lists to come, because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to break it down into the different aspects. So like there's the water essentials, the gardening essentials.
Skeins says, when you're trying to stretch every dollar, it is tough.
Yeah.
So I would argue, Skeins, that if you're trying to stretch every dollar, stay for the best thing possible, because in our experience, when you buy cheap, you're replacing it all the time. When you buy good quality, you're never replacing it. Maybe once in a blue moon. So it'll save you money in the long run. That's been our experience anyway.
Yeah. Well, and quite frankly, the last 3 years, finances have not been the best, and being able to buy good quality stuff. I mean, it does cost more, but we're finally getting back to where we can start buying better quality.
I got anti on a squirrely note. Beautiful. Now I want to see the platforms with the goldfish in the halls. Wah, 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 wah.
So that's just another way you can help yourself and help us in the process. And if there's any questions, if you go to that and you have any questions about any of this stuff and you want to know about it, you just drop us an email or wait till chat and ask us about it, and we'll tell you what we honestly think.
Yep. Yeah. And I apologize, guys. I usually get like this at work in the last hour. We have been full of so much garbage going on, especially in the last, what would you say, last week and a half. I've been just like really overwhelmed. Like, not overwhelmed, but just really sad for people. And it's very emotional what people are going through right now. And so we have been so overwhelmed with fraud and just sadness that you really don't have time to just let go and have fun like that. But usually someone starts getting tired and we go a little wild like this at work. Everybody's laughing, and it can make us get through that stretch of the last hour and be able to walk away in a good mood. But haven't been able to release like that lately. So thank you all for letting me do that here. I'll get a good night's rest tonight. You don't care.
You're going to stay up late watching TV like you always do.
I can't. I'm ready to go to bed now. It's everything I got keeping my eyes open.
At the risk of accidentally insulting someone, if you have to stretch every dollar, maybe you need another source of income. Passive income is very handy. Yes, it is. I don't see why anybody would be offended.
Nobody
like that.
here anyway.
I said last week, financial literacy is a rare commodity in today's America.
Right. And just because you think you need to have it now doesn't truly mean you need to have it now. It means you want it right now. And so save you up pennies. Pinch them. That's grandma used to call it her rainy day fund. And that's the $20 bills she used to stuff down her pockets or put in her hands to hide as we were walking away from Papa or Mom and Dad. It was like, here, put this in your pocket, save it for later.
So Skeins is having all kinds of cooking equipment falling apart. She's finding washers and nipples falling off of stuff.
It's because you're moving, and it's because things have been overused and you're not oiling properly because you're overwhelmed and you're busy. So as that's happening, put everything in a baggie. And when you get here and you get to a point where you're ready to start using it, we'll pull everything out, we'll grace it and do all that. Between Jennifer's garden, my garden, Mossy Oak's garden, and Chris and Misty's garden, and all of that, we're going to have plenty of canning to do. Bring your crap over at that time, and we'll all get to working on it and getting it up and running and get it through its run through. So don't be going, I need to replace all that, because then you have to move all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and there's plenty to go around here. So,
yep.
It's not an issue. It doesn't mean you can have my crap. It means you can borrow it if you need it. But I want it back when I need it.
Or just come over and use it in our kitchen.
Yeah, I can supervise you better if you use it at my house. So that works.
We did. Final thing. We had another very nice dinner with neighbor Chris and Misty and Mossy Oak and
a friend of hers came in.
It was a very nice dinner. It was a nice change of pace, nice cooling down. You know, Sunday I had to take 3 showers because I worked before church, so I had to take a shower before church, and then I worked after church, so I had to take a shower before we went to dinner, and then I came back home and worked after I got home, so I had to take one before I went to bed.
So you know what's really nice is having another chef cooking for you, and you not having to be the one to cook for everybody else. So it's really nice because Chef Tiffany, they're off grid right now, so really just kind of not missing. She's missing the kitchen and all of that. So it's nice because she'll come over here, she'll go over there, and wherever we're having dinner, and she'll cook. And so Chef Tiffany gets in there. We had a really nice venison meatballs with a coconut milk broccoli cream sauce and rice noodles. And man, was it amazing. And I was full. I was so full. Like I was like backing, like, how much can I get in my body? Because I knew it wasn't going to be poison, you know, like trying to figure out how much I could get in my body. And finally I handed Garen, but only a little bit. And like, here, finish this. I can't finish it, and I'm not going to waste it.
That's one of the good things about eating a good cooked meal is you don't eat as much.
You don't eat as much, and it is very filling and like almost really not a lot of calories. It's 0 dairy. It was
except
really
for
nice.
the dessert you made.
Oh yeah, I was in charge of dessert, so I made my strawberry cream delight.
She did not read the room very well.
I was just trying to get rid of stuff.
There's two.
I need room in my freezer for a cow.
You went to the store and bought strawberry stuff.
That's it, just strawberries. And so, you know, but everything else I had in my freezer, trying to remove stuff from the freezer to get ready for a cow.
But she did not read the room very well.
Well, so I knew I had one non-dairy person.
Only three pieces got eaten. So it went to work with me yesterday. Scott took it home for his kids.
Oh, good.
He said
then
thank
it's
you.
Gone. Yes, good.
Yes, it did not go to waste.
So no big deal. So yeah, so some of the people in our group have had it before. It's the one I make a puff pastry and then I tower it and that kind of thing, and it lasts yummy. And then you cover it with chocolate and that kind of thing. I wanted something cool and light. But
it was good. It was good.
I don't know. Just don't put me in charge of dessert anymore. I'll do something else. So I don't know. I said I have plenty of squash in the garden. I can do something with that. And nobody took me up on it. So that's because Misty did the salad.
Yeah.
But yeah, Chef Tiffany, man, she knocks it out of the park. Every time she knocks it out of the park. And she's so funny.
Well,
she'll watch me, you know, because we test each other. And she'll watch me. And I'll be like, that looks really good. So I go and I get me a meatball. And it's not the first time I've done this. And I go and I taste it. Or she'll hand me something. Taste this. Tell me what you think. And so I go and taste it. I taste the meatball. Man, it has some bitchin' flavor. It was awesome. You taste the flavor. And I'm sitting there and I'm chewing on it. And Garen goes, well, what do you think? I said, it's really good. And he's like, but your face, because he was looking at my face. And I go, well, I'm still talking to myself because I'm having to remember this is somebody, the chef that is actually cooking this food. She cannot have wheat. She cannot have a lot of that stuff. So if she uses flours, it's a lot of like almond flour, that kind of thing. And so it has a different texture that because of her cooking, I am getting used to. But I'll tell you, she knocked it out of the park. It was really good. Mm-hmm. Trust me, folks, I was not complaining. My plate was full. So nobody was complaining. It was good.
So going forward, before we start dipping into politics, what do you see happening this next week around the homestead for you?
Oh, this next week during the homestead. When is that meeting we're supposed to have?
2 weeks.
Next weekend? Is that 2 weeks?
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about?
The commissioners meeting?
No.
Oh, I don't know about the
commissioners meeting has not been
Oh, we're going to
set
talk
yet.
about them. We're going to talk about them.
Yeah, commissioners meeting has not been set yet. When I was reading the paper, the date is to be set. And trust me, I combed through the whole back of the paper. I did not see a date set for that.
Do you want to stick around for talking about the
I can
commissioners?
talk about that because I've been bitching. Everybody at work is bitching.
So this is actually a homestead thing. This is actually a homestead update because this affects us directly.
This affects us directly. It affects a lot around us directly. Come to find out that Shawnee County, but the same issue is affecting them and their county, their road and bridges directly. And because the same issue is happening. And ironically enough, quite a few counties in the state of Kansas.
So last December and January's commissioner meeting, I guess it was earlier that fall, it was October. When they were discussing the budget. In the October meeting, they made a big deal about how the road and bridge department all got 15% raises, and people were complaining about it, and they were like, no,
plus
they deserved it.
15% raises, $1 an hour plus on top of that.
So they need this because they do such a good job. Come to find out this week that they're out of money and the road graders are not out taking care of the county roads.
All equipment is shut down.
All the equipment shut down. And so, like I told you earlier, it's rained a little bit. The road that we live on is, everybody I talk to agrees, it's even at the best of times is the worst road in the county, worst gravel road in the county. Well, now it's even worse than the worst. They somehow they managed to run out of money, mismanage their funds. Of course, from my understanding, they bought a bunch of new equipment and
brand new trucks because used wasn't good enough. And
so, I'm probably going to go to the meeting and bitch up a fit because they some condescending bastards. And I hope that they.
Oh, they're watching.
I hope that they
got
they hear
somebody
me say
watching.
I hope that word gets back to them. I'm probably going to write another letter to the editor to just get my feelings out.
Did you talk to Farmer Matt?
I haven't talked to him. I'm going to talk to him this week. I told you I'm going to talk to him this weekend, face to face. But yeah, they abused the citizens of this county, and
all the way to the point that they told us all that we were nothing more than credit cards.
They need. What are you trying to do?
Doing something. You're trying to scroll back down so you can see.
See,
I just see what Anti said. We now have Grumpy Acres Confessions, brought to you by Amazon Store. It was funny. But I wanted to see it.
But yeah, so that's the drama that the county commissioners who view the populace as their own credit card.
The roads, folks, are so incredibly bad. 158, you cannot get down on.
No, you can. But
well, not without taking a front end out or losing some tires. I was coming back from the gas station. I had no idea that we had a new hole. Apparently, he thinks maybe somebody hit a boulder.
Yeah, it happened after the last time they graded it.
There's a spring now in the middle of the road, literally as you're coming just over the top of the hill. So you can't see it until it's too late. And the entire half of the road now, it's wide enough for one large truck to get down at a time. And in the middle of it, there is now a spring.
So Lynn,
eroding the entire road.
Lynn suggests that we run for office to help somebody. Our group is actively trying to
can't get past anybody in order to do it. We do have one person in office right now.
Here's the deal. If you're not a local, if you weren't raised here, good luck getting voted into office.
Seriously. Well, and I also think that it was a conflict of interest that the guy that was in charge of road and bridges is a county commissioner voting on where all the money is going for road and bridges.
Yeah.
Huge conflict of interest. Should have never been allowed.
So that we've got something we've got to deal with. Again, this goes back to, we need to be involved in local politics.
Which brings up another one. Linda Gerhardt, one of our commissioners who just got voted in. Linda Gerhardt is also the treasurer for Jackson County. I had temporary plates that my dealership took care of when I bought my vehicle. Those went through, they didn't expire until August 6th.
Yeah, something like that.
So August 6th of this year. Linda Gerhardt took it upon herself once she saw the paperwork come through to issue me brand new papers with a brand new sticker, no license plate. These are temporary tags that expire July 24th. Well, folks, what was the whole point of issuing new tags? Why not just send me my sticker for my new license plate? Why waste the money to pull a whole new number? That was a waste of taxpayer dollars. And Linda Gerhardt, that was stupid.
We're using that word a lot today.
Stupid. Just saying.
Everything's stupid.
That was stupid. And a waste of taxpayer dollars.
Not driving down to 166 and not destroying the car was.
I didn't destroy the car. I did not destroy the car.
Eventually,
see, I got like this little insurance thing on there. So the insurance company sent me, so it sees what speed I'm doing and how I'm driving. And I can save up to 50% off of my insurance if, I do a good job and that kind of thing. And I came home, I told him I did a stupid thing. And he goes, what's that? And I said, well, I was in a hurry trying to get home for the live because you pushed it back. And I was trying to be kind and get here. I went down 158. I didn't realize there's a whole new hole there. And he's like, did you hit it? And I'm like, no, I didn't hit it. But that's the problem. I swerved, hit my brake, and then tried to do that, the Frogger thing, trying to get around it.
When I told you to go down to 166, you should have gone on 166. You said, that's out of the way.
I usually come 142. And so come in 142. 142 is getting just as bad. So anyway, State Auditor might be interested. Just saying, yeah, well, I think they got State Auditor might have a hand in it because they were audited last year, but I don't think you're wrong. I think they need to be contacted again. And even as much, Shawnee County has filed a lawsuit against their road and bridges in the county. Did you know that? So they're the people have because of the front end alignments that they're having to get, because of the constant new tires they're having to get, because of the way that the roads are done and the taxes that they're collecting. I'm thinking we might want to follow suit. So let's see what precedence is set, and then we can see how that goes, and then possibly get the same attorney to take it for us up here. But
something to talk about with the group.
Well, I think it needs to be. I think we just call an open forum, and it needs to be all of Jackson County, not just some. It needs to be all.
Start someplace
because it affects everybody. Well, we can call it and then kind of see what everybody wants to do, but it needs to be a class action lawsuit. Yeah.
Life is like a box of chocolates. You don't know what to get. And it's like a box of keto chocolates if you get it from Rose.
Yeah. And if you get it from the county commissioners, it's just a box of shite. So, but anyway. Yeah, so not too terribly happy around here. There is something I'm happy about.
What?
The great big beautiful deal.
Oh, the great big beautiful bill.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The art of the deal.
I don't. You guys in chat, tell us what you think about the
Only
Senate.
if you have really read it and you know what you're talking about.
The Senate passing that bill.
Mm-hmm.
On the face of it, the only thing that helps everybody is the tax cuts don't expire. But there's a whole bunch of stuff in there that is questionable, like all the AI stuff. I'm torn because we've been torn on that for a while, though. Because it's the AI stuff in the big beautiful bill is setting the groundwork for a surveillance state like we've never thought of before.
Oh, that's already happening, though.
On the flip side of that, no, not like what can come out of AI.
I'll share some stuff with you off
on the flip side of that. They're doing it because eventually we're going to get in a shooting war with China, and if we don't have that stuff ready to roll, then we're in a hot mess. Yeah, we're not gonna win. So I'm torn on it. There's a bunch of stuff in there like that. Some of the stuff that was in it. The proposal to sell 3 million acres of public owned land. From my understanding, that was stripped out of the bill, where they neutered it a little bit, because people are concerned about BlackRock and the developers like that getting it.
And Joseph G.
And quite frankly, the only people that are going to get rich off of selling that are most likely the politicians in DC or their friends that are local. Let's be honest. Yeah, here we go. On Saturday night, Senator Lee withdrew his federal land sales provision from the budget. Concerns that the land would be sold to China, BlackRock, or any foreign threats or interests, and not to American citizens, could not be guaranteed in the bill.
Right. And that was part of that 30-30 land grab.
So it was taken out.
Which means that so the angels involved in, what's the name of that group? The stewards.
Yeah.
Land stewards, is that it?
American stewards.
American stewards. That means that they're being heard. So that's good. So
another thing that happened was, found this out in April. Congresswoman Harriet Hagman from Wyoming and Julie Federchek from North Dakota introduced the Landowner Easement Rights Act that limits terms of conservation easements to 30 years. Now, this is a big thing because conservation easements, once they were put in place, were in perpetuity. They never ended unless you took them to court. At least now there's a 30-year sunset on it. What do you want?
What'd you know about this one?
Much more interested in the 100 trillion sovereign fund they found that's supposed to be released by him at the end of the summer. I don't know much about that.
That has something to do with what, because I was listening to, can't remember which senator it was, doggone it, then was interviewing him tonight, and they were talking about that. That was something that Doge found, I think. I want to say somehow that's related to something Doge found.
So Lynn makes the point, getting it through procedurally is why I'm a yes, because otherwise nothing good. But that assumes that they will fix a bunch of stuff that with the follow-up band-aids, procedural issues. Okay, he makes a great point. This is nothing more than an omnibus bill. And if you don't know what an omnibus bill is, it's just a bill where they throw everything in it together, and they're doing it. The way they're doing it, they only have to have a 51 vote in the Senate versus a 60 vote. And they barely had enough to pass it at 51. And procedurally, sometimes I wonder if they're actually working for us, because the Hearing Protection Act and the short-barreled rifle removal was in there. So the House passed getting away from all the taxes, right? And the Senate, the gun owners and lobbyists did not like that. It did not go far enough. So the Senate made a complete reversal of regulations and stuff. Well, the parliamentarian, are you done?
I'm gonna go use the restroom.
But the parliamentarian pointed out that during reconciliation, it can only be used for budget measures. And by adding all the regulation stuff in there, it could not be voted on. So they had to strip that stuff out. Was it put in there on purpose, or was it put in there because they got people that don't know what they're doing and don't know how the rules work for the organization that they're in? The last thing we need is a sovereign fund just in the IOU waiting to happen. It's a good point. And again, I don't know enough about it to make any cognitive statements on it. So I'm just going to refrain. I'm going to let people that probably know more about it than I do discuss it. But there's a bunch of stuff. Lynn's right. There's a bunch of stuff in there that's not pretty. But politics isn't pretty. And if we sit back and we demand 100% of what we want, then we'll never get anything we want because it'll never pass. Right. So I understand the logic of doing it the way it is. Doesn't mean I have to like it. Doesn't mean I have to applaud it, but I understand it. Right. So that's where we stand. And like Lynn said, if they can maintain control of Congress going through the midterms, between now and the midterms, they've got an opportunity to fix a lot of the stuff that wasn't taken care of in the omnibus bill. And if they do it right, come the midterms, they're not going to get blown out of the water like they did last time because they didn't do squat. They did not support Trump's agenda, and they did not support helping the American people. It was politics as usual. And that's one of the good things about what's going on now is there's still a lot of people playing politics as usual. More and more people aren't, though, which is heartening. Are they going to fix everything? No, not really. Not by a long shot, but they'll give us some time. Lynn says he really doesn't like it. Just saying why it's happening. You're explaining it very well. Thank you. Well, I've done a lot of reading and I've listened to a lot of commentary because I was torn. There's some good stuff like I said, the AI stuff. I understand why it's important. I also understand that given the other party getting into power, it can be turned very easily against the American people. It will be. Let me rephrase that. If the liberals and the leftists and the Marxists get in power, it will be turned against us, plain and simple. That's another reason why the alligator Alcatraz that Trump went down today and visited, the 3,000 bed detention facility out in the middle of the Everglades. It's up and running and it could very easily be turned. And, they could have taken and shipped off, had that been in existence after January 6th, they could have shipped all those people off to that place very easily done it. And, and the liberals are going nuts about it. Apparently the rumors going around that they're building incinerators to get rid of the dead illegals down there. Well, how do you counter that? How do you counter that? Omnibus bills are terrible. Every bill should. The problem is you can't get some of the stuff through without doing the supermajority vote, and that's the reason why they lumped all this stuff in there. There needs to be some serious primary out there for some of these rhinos. Well, it's our responsibility to vote for them, but it's the party's responsibility to put people up worth voting for. Politics is not an everyman game anymore. Period. Even you look at even the guys that are supposedly everymen like J.D. Vance and Hawley, they're not everymen. They may have had humble beginnings, but they're an everyman doesn't go to Yale. Plain and simple. So or Harvard or wherever Vance went to. So it is what it is. We just deal with it. Again, this is why we get involved in local politics. They should try voting on one thing at a time. Well, absolutely. But it's the realities of the situation make that next impossible most of the time. Let's see what else happened this week that I found interesting. So I don't know if you guys heard about it, but a month and a half ago. Hang on. There was a pastor down in Arizona that was murdered, and they did not release any of the details. They just said he was murdered and they were looking for the killer. Well, they caught the killer, and details came out about what he did to that pastor. He literally crucified the guy, tortured him, crucified him on the bed, and then stuck a crown of thorns on his head. And when he was captured, he readily admitted to doing it. And he said he had a list of 14 other pastors across the country that he was going to go after because they were Christian and they were teaching the New Testament. And he's a self-proclaimed, he says he's Jewish, but he's got a great big, looks like a prison tattoo across his neck that says Yahweh. Yeah, a devout Jew would not have something like that on their body. So, and it got me thinking, you know, there was a pastor here rather locally up in Seneca that was murdered. Is a priest, he's a Catholic priest that was murdered outside his church. I started doing a search. There are 14 reported church burning or vandalization or theft cases, like where it was obvious that it was directed at the church because it was a Christian church, not because it was a crime of opportunity like a druggie or something. There's been 14 of them since the beginning of the year. We had the guy last week that tried to get in and shoot up a church in Michigan. These attacks, I'm not saying that they're more frequent, but they seem to be more focused. And you know, whether you like Christianity or not, the one true fact about the matter is Christians are the most persecuted group on the entire planet. They are systematically suppressed by the state in many places. They are attacked. There are more martyrs coming out of Nigeria by itself because of Boko Haram than every place else put together. So if you're a Christian, as I said last week, you need to be cautious and be aware that as things progress and things become more radicalized and more kinetic, there's a possibility that you could become a target, even in a small town church like where I go. Sure, if you would, please. So yeah, just be aware of it. All right, guys. I just want everybody to be safe. And if you're a member of a church and your church, well, number one, if your church doesn't allow you to carry in church, then I would reconsider where I'm going. If they can't make a good argument about it, then I would reconsider. But if you're going to church, you should think about becoming part of their security team. Skinnies wants to know what my thoughts are, but okay, so he's not the new mayor yet in New York City. Mandani, Zohar Mandani. He's only been a naturalized citizen for 7 years. Both his parents are radical leftist professors at Columbia. So technically, he could be considered a red diaper baby, you know, growing up in a Marxist household. And they found a video of him where he was talking about seizing the means of production. And Nick Freitas did a great short today. You know, people accuse the guy of being anti-gun, and it's quite obvious that he's not anti-gun. What he is he's anti-you owning a gun, because he has no problem talking about seizing the means of production. And the only way you do that is by force. Yeah, there are churches out there that are very anti-gun. Most of them teach the social gospel, and I don't want to get into that right now because that'll take me down an entire another path that will get me worked up. But back to Mandani, he's a chameleon. He said that he's a Marxist. He says he's a communist. He said that he's an Islamist. He's a Muslim. And there's something about it. you always see Muslim communists or Muslim socialists. The two ideologies are antithetical to each other up until the point that they intersect and they can take power away from another group. And so that's why you see in Great Britain, you see all the Muslim socialists, you see people like Mondani in America. You realize only about 3% of New York City voted in the primary for the Democrats. And the DNC put up the worst possible candidate. They put up Andrew Cuomo, who literally killed people's grandmothers during COVID. You know, he stuck COVID patients into nursing homes. In fact, if you take out COVID deaths in New York, in nursing homes in New York, Michigan, and Washington State, that the COVID rate goes down to less than a regular flu season. It literally comparable to a regular flu season. Yeah. So do I think that this could be London Part 2? I don't know. Scanes. Quite honestly, I don't have a lot of faith in the voters in New York City. Here's the reason why. You know, there's very few people left in society that remember what New York City was like in the 70s. And even in the 80s. I went on a basketball recruiting trip with my dad in New York City. And I still remember very vividly the upside down, burned out cars in the ghetto as riding the train in New York City. I still remember seeing all that stuff. And you've got almost two entire generations of people that were raised on a steady diet of America bad, the founding of America bad, and those are the people that put Mondani over Cuomo, plain and simple. Those are the people. Now, will regular hardworking New Yorkers come out and vote against this guy? I don't know. Simple fact is, though, if he becomes mayor of New York City, you're going to see them start pushing it more and more and more across America. Texas just shut down the Muslim community they were trying to build there outside of Fort Worth, if I remember correctly. You know, they were gonna build a Muslim only community that was going to run off of Sharia law, and which is I find very interesting because Sharia law does not trump U.S. and Texas law. So that right there is a problem, you know. So you're going to start seeing it more and more and more. And if you listen to Mondani talk, he's talking about government-owned grocery stores because those worked so well in Soviet Russia and in China before they embraced capitalism. He's talking about defunding the police even more. Yeah, his ideas are antithetical, and there's a very strong argument to be made that what he wants to impose on New York City is against the Constitution, because the Constitution guarantees a representative republic, and by him doing that, it's not representative republic at that point. And I'm going to give you guys a little sneak peek on my grumpy truth for Thursday. You know, here's the thing about democracy, and this is what the left loves. Democracy means that the majority gets what it wants, right? One of the other things that it means is that a lot of times the majority gets exactly what it deserves. We're seeing that in California. California voting, they've got ranked choice voting in a lot of places. It's a one-party state for all intents and purposes, and the people keep voting for it, and they get exactly what they voted for. Same thing with Portland, Washington, Oregon, you know, Seattle, all those places that have all the problem with the riots and everything. The people are getting exactly what they want, And we'll see. You know, the big thing right now is fatigue. We'll see if fatigue starts setting in and people get fed up with it. It's always the privileged helping us make the worst decision. Absolutely. You know, and let's be honest with you, the leftists in America are the worst because Black people are incapable of making their own decisions. They have to have white liberals helping them, according to the Democrat Party. Same thing with other minorities, except for Asians. They don't particularly like Asians because they're rather successful for the most part. And in fact, in California, they rank them in with Caucasians when it comes to school preference, college preferences. It's harder for them to get into college than it is a white person or Black person or Latino. You know, it's very funny. Those that can't swim think they're swimming until they realize they're actually drowning. Absolutely. You know, and unfortunately, with Marxism, the only way out of Marxism, you can't vote your way out of Marxism. Plain and simple. And let's be completely honest about it. The United States government is not a very good representation of a representative republic with democratic processes. Not a very good representation of it. And the only way that we're going to get it back is by taking it back. And you can infer into that whatever you want. All right. I'm not saying anything about anything. I'm just saying the only way it's going to change is if we take it back. Skane says, but they aren't told that they aren't drowning. They're being pushed under by the conservatives. Yeah, exactly. The conservatives are the bad guys in a lot of cases. New subject. Lynn is curious. Curious about what? We've had questions about that. Yeah. Do you do anything with the Legion, VFW, and the Marine Corps League? I am a lifetime member of the VFW. I used to be really active in it the last year or so that we were in Pleasant Hill. I got so busy doing other things that I quit going.
Yeah, but I took over the auxiliary position.
And Angela was in the women's auxiliary.
Lifetime membership.
Did we get you lifetime? Yeah, she's a lifetime member of the women's auxiliary. Quite frankly, the last 3.5 years, I've thought about getting involved with the one here. They seem to be pretty active. We always see them out whenever there's parades or anything. I'm sure they're going to be out on the 4th of July with flags and all that. I really do need to get back into it now that I'm starting. Yeah, now that things are settling down. It's one of the reasons why. One of the reasons I started going to church is because things started settling down. I needed to get that connection again, and I need to get involved with VFW again. I don't think there is an there's actually 2 American Legion posts out here because there's one up in Holton, and then the tribe has one that celebrates all the Native American vets on the reservation. And the Marine Corps League.
Marine Corps League I haven't seen.
I'm not sure. I'm sure there's probably a chapter in Topeka, but it never occurred to me to join the Marine Corps League. I don't know why. It seems like it would be a no-brainer, huh? But maybe I'll look into that. Might be fun to hang out with a bunch of Marines.
Oh,
of course, it's fun It's fun hanging out with a bunch of people that aren't Marines because it gives me somebody to make fun of.
You just make a chapter now with how many Marines.
Yeah, this is true. So yeah, is anybody else involved in any of these things? Lynn says the biggest Legion in my state is a mile from my house. I'm a member, but don't do a lot with them. Well, and part of the problem I had with the VFW is, when did I become a member? I was 49, I think, when I got my lifetime membership. It's been almost a decade.
2014,
It's been a decade or more since I got into it, but I'm still working, and I work during the work week, and like 95% of the guys in there are retired, so they're doing stuff on weekdays when I can't make it, plain and simple. Let's see here. I got given a little plastic Jesus a day at the grocery store by a sweet little gentleman, buying a sandwich fixins for the ladies' prayer meeting tonight. The Marine Corps League is usually a breakfast club. Okay, I'll look into it. Scanes, I've got a little tiny plastic Jesus that somebody gave me a handful of them, and I've got one left. And the thing is, you hold it in your hand and you walk up and you shake somebody. You walk up to somebody, you go, you know what somebody told me? And they go, what? And you shake their hand and you palm that little Jesus into their hand. And when they look at it, you go, somebody told me you need a little Jesus in your life. And it just makes people smile, and it makes their morning or their day. So yeah, if you can find them, it's fun to do. Oh goodness. Is there anybody else in here that's a member of the Legion or the Marine Corps League or the VFW? Hey Chase, what's up? How's Tricks out there with you guys?
Let's check that.
Angela wants to know how your dad's doing. Hope you guys are doing well. I know you've all been busy since the hurricane, doing stuff and doing classes. But
Mr. better be canon.
They need to be canon.
His wife better be canon.
Oh, Angela says your wife needs to be canon. Make sure she's canon stuff.
She canon?
Oh, she's asking, is your wife canning? They had that conversation at,
She took my class in Kentucky.
Was it in Kentucky?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right, she did, didn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Oh goodness. Oh, let's see. What else went on that I wanted to talk about? Oh, they're trying to impeach Trump again. What's that? The Al Green. Al Green, impeachment so simple that a caveman can do it. Have you guys go look up a picture of Al Green? I swear to God, he looks like a Neanderthal. And that's not being mean or anything. It's just a simple statement of fact. Let's see. Legion, VFW. Well, I have no idea what 40 and 8 is. You have to explain that to me. Chase says good. They're teaching some classes and hitting some getting some relief work done as well. And yes, she's been canning continuously. Sweet. She loves it.
Yes.
You just made Angela's night. That makes her extremely happy. Somebody's found the love of canning. Of course, here's the question for you, Chase. Do you enjoy having to lug all those cans around and find storage space for them?
He should. He's got enough things stored up
now. Okay, Bill's gonna tell me about the 40 and 8 at the next meetup. You missed it. I'm doing a cheese and milk processing lecture on Friday. So be there and
where?
Become at Midwest Preparedness.
Yeah.
But yeah, be prepared to learn about cheese. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do it too, Bill. Gosh, I can't think of anything else, guys. Seriously. Kind of hit all the topics I wanted to hit. You guys got anything you want to talk about? I'm going to take the silence. Okay. They've begun all the healthcare scammer arrests and found over 14 billion so far, and are nailing down being able to send Fauci to the pen. Yeah. Was it Massey? One of the senators or somebody in Congress was talking about how he was getting authorization from the DOJ to subpoena Fauci to come in front of Congress.
Was that Massey or Marshall?
I don't remember who it was. They bought a new hutch so they can store more canning jars in them.
Whoop, whoop.
Oh, it was Rand Paul. It was Rand Paul that was going to bring him in to testify. Yeah. So hopefully, I made the walking video about how there can be no reconciliation without people being held accountable, plain and simple. Because I will never, as far as those people are, as long as those people are running around free, I won't be satisfied. Some of those people, Fauci and Cuomo and all those guys, literally killed Americans, and they literally destroyed the fabric of our country. America will never be the same as it was pre-COVID. COVID changed American society as much as 9/11 did, or more, actually.
I would say more.
Because Angela said more, because they actually ruined an entire generation of children. Yeah.
And the operations of an entire work environment.
But okay, guys. Unless you guys got Skane's just picked up a pork butt for 97 cents a pound.
She's gonna make it dog food.
So good price for dog food. Okay, guys, we're running over an hour and a half here. I covered everything I wanted to talk about. All these things I talked about, they all give us reason to work on what we constantly talk about: the building community, the food independence, the self-reliance, the everything. To that end, tomorrow, if you guys would join me again at 8 p.m., I'm going to do the very first video in the urban prepping video series that was asked for. I think it's gonna be pretty good. I did a full spectrum preparedness series 2 or 3 years ago. It was after we moved here, but it wasn't as good as what I wanted it to be, and I'm gotten much better at researching and developing the scripts and stuff. So I think this one's going to be much better and much more informative. So if you guys don't have any plans, be there tomorrow night at 8 p.m. and we'll talk about it. Again, remember, we've got the new Grumpy Acres, what I call it? The Grumpy Acres General Store on Amazon. So if you want to go see the stuff that we use around the homestead, go check that out and maybe find some good things for you to use around your property. You can hit the other links. Oh, did you guys see the post today? Did it post? I'm not sure. I don't even remember if it posted. The community post. The new July bonfire t-shirt dropped today. It should have dropped. I'll have to go check on it. I don't remember getting an email. But it's the Liberty. What is it? It's the Liberty is freedom tempered by morals and ethics logo that I did. So if you want to get one of those, get it, wear it proudly, let people know what you think. And with all that said, man, when you guys go to bed tonight, I certainly hope that you're able to think that I'm better off now than I was when I woke up this morning. And when you get up tomorrow, oh, hang on a second. Oh, Angela wants me to remind you that you need to be 10% better. Only 10%. Don't do any more than 10%, no less than 10%.
More than 10% if you can.
She says you can do more than 10. You know what? You just be better. You be however many percentage points better you can be tomorrow than you were when you woke up. And when you wake up tomorrow, go out and live life.